Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome back to our weekly Lead Champ Pro call. If you are watching this recorded, we're so excited to have you here. If you're watching it live, welcome back. We appreciate you guys being our live studio audience. If you would like to join us live next week or any future week, every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Eastern here at leadchamplivedials.com, leadchamplivedials.com. If you want to join us on the daily for dialing, and actually setting some appointments or making some sales, feel free to join us as well. But every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Eastern, we have this call to help the agents get more out of our platform, book more appointments, close more deals, make more money, and ultimately build the success that you want, with your agency, with your brokerage. And guys, today I'm super excited. We are joined with two of our top producing Lead Champ Pro users, some of the best people that I've met actually since I started working here. They both have fantastic attitudes. They both sell a ton of insurance, and they're going to share some tips with you guys today. But before we do that, I want to jump over really quickly to Mr. Joshua Lockhart. Let me see if I can find him here and add him on to talk about some of the hot wins of the week, some of the good news from the Good News channel. And I think this is a good opportunity to plug this. If you are listening to this live or recorded, please take a couple seconds and join our Discord channel. It is absolutely popping off in there. Couple things you will love about the Discord channel. Number one, we have a live leaderboard. Every single sale that comes in through Lead Champ, whenever you disposition it with the What Happened button, it gets shouted out inside of our server. I see your guys' names popping off every single day on the sales that you're making, which is exciting. But we also have a community channel, the Good News channel, where you can come and share your stories. And it is really powerful to see, hey, I just had a 2-year-old lead book an appointment, buy insurance from me. Or, hey, I just had a guy that no-showed on me, 4 times. And, AI rebooked him again. Okay. And now we sold some insurance to him. Right. And so to see it working or to share your experiences, we'd love to have you come share. But Josh, I know you have a couple queued up. I just enabled screen sharing for you if you want to, share a couple of the wins from this past week.
Okay, awesome. Before I get to that, I'm actually going to share kind of an announcement because you're talking about Discord. So as long as you are in the Discord channel, something we've been talking about doing the last couple weeks that is on the calendar. So mark your calendar for Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So a lot of us, maybe we have new agents on our team we're trying to train, or we have people that we've hired to dial the phone for us, and we would like to help them to get better. So myself, Jamie Cheerio, and a few other agents, and it's open to anybody in Lead Champ, are going to be going old school, a live dial session Thursday at 10. And so if you hop on there, what you can expect to see is a slight bit of training on dialing the phone, and then we're going to be dialing live, literally just setting appointments. So, you're not going to see somebody on there talking for 30 minutes. It's going to be, boom, boom, boom. We're probably going to get cussed out. We're going to set some appointments. You'll hear some wild things. So if you're offended easily, don't show up. But this is a great time to show up, dial with us. Bring any agents you want to hear, hey, this is what you should sound like on the phone. Or if you have people you've hired to dial the phone, that is a great place to be there. My folks that dial for me are going to be there as well. And so, I can say, hey, I'm going to be dialing the phone. But like, if you haven't heard Jamie Cheerio dial and set appointments, like you just aren't living life. The guy is a freaking animal. That's who I learned how to set appointments from. So Thursday, 10 Eastern. It's only in Discord, so you have to figure out how to get down to the live dial voice channel. So maybe at the end, you can show them that, Nick. But that's where it's going to be Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so things for shout out. First, I'm going to go through the leaderboard. So it is July 30th. We have a whole month of July behind us, and I'm going to rattle off. We have a top 10 in sales. So these are people that made insurance sales, annual premium or target premium, and they went and hit the What Happened button. So if you didn't hit the What Happened button, you're not on the list. And of course, you have to be in the top 10. So here we go. Number 10, Elise Soapy. She's always up there. $29,000 for the month. Number 9, we're going to hear from in a moment. Miss Sheila Day, $29,800. We have Derek Robinson is always crushing at $31,000. Number 7, Bryce Stenger. It's a couple good months for him. $34,500. Mr. Jamie Cheerio, $40,000 for the month. Myself, 45,000. Adam Marquis, 48,000. Sean Simpson, 61,300. F&D Financial, that's Drake and Francesca, 61,000. And then Brian Little with 124,000 for the month of July insurance premiums submitted. So shout out to everybody. That's awesome. And then like Nick was saying, the Good News Channel. So yeah, you see it stuff in there, but like I would read these to see what's actually happening. So I love this first one. So Dawson, this guy got a client, one of the client campaign messages was like, hey, it's been a while. I can't even remember what text it was, but this guy's been a client for like 6 months. Hit up Dawson. Hey, I have a 401k. I want to roll it over. So Dawson rolled over $43,000 in an annuity. Adam Mostel here, he got some more beneficiaries. So if you're not using the beneficiary button, so when I see that, I'm like, okay, client's getting the messages. I need to pay attention to that. Beneficiary button, ask for beneficiaries. That's awesome. Another one from Adam Mostel. He's been crushing the beneficiaries. We might have to have him on and talk about how he's going about it. Tyler Segal, client's policy lapsed, and I was trying to get him back on the phone. LCP. He's been texting me all week that people have been reaching out to him because they get the birthday text. Like, what a simple thing, the birthday texts. So that was great. Jamie, one call closed using the Connect power dialer, $2,000 Americo. And then same thing, Derek Robinson, call to close, lead came in. So by the time the lead came in, speed to lead, we've been talking about that. He called it right away. And from the time it came in, 30 minutes later, had a deal done, $6,000 Americo. So a lot of good things happening. So stay plugged in, stay in tune to the Good News Channel to know what people are doing. It's not just for posting, hey, look at what I sold. If you actually read them, you're going to get some tips. Hey, I need to be calling my leads when they first come in. I know it sounds silly, but like, as the famous infamous Nick Odom says, to know and not to do is not to know. Say that 3 times fast. Back to you, Nick.
I'm not going to try and say it 3 times fast, but I'll say it one more time. To know and not to do is not to know. And probably one of the most important lessons that we all have to keep learning is just how many times we have to relearn lessons over and over again, right? Like how many of y'all have been doing something that was working so well that you stopped doing it, right? That happens all the time. And so, yes, to know and not to do is not to know. I don't know why some of y'all pay us so much money every month here at Lead Champ, but you don't come in and click the what happened button on your appointments. Okay, it actually blows my mind. Like the reason, and I'm going to bring Sheila Day up next. Sheila is incredible. I haven't actually spent that much time with her one-on-one, but here's something I've noticed in the time I've been around her. She brings such a positive attitude to everything she's doing. She always shows up. I'm talking every single day on Live Dial. She's there holding it down, whether there's 10 people on listening to her or it's just her. Okay, they're dialing by herself, waiting to hold it down for anyone who's going to join. She is there, and she's selling a ton of insurance as well. But isn't it nice to work with positive, well-meaning, good people? They're actually trying to help other people win. I think it's fantastic. So Sheila, thank you so much. I'm going to bring you up on here. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us today. It really means a lot. I know you could be making sales, right? You could be dialing the phone, but instead you're giving back to the community and helping people win. And just one last thing I want to say before I let you share a little bit is, guys, there's a way we know the ones of y'all that we like, okay? Here at Lead Champ, we do talk about y'all behind your backs, okay? And here's the people we really like. We like the people who sell a lot of insurance, and we know that they are because they hit the what happened button. So we get notified, right? Because we know if they're hitting that button, their clients are getting those thank you cards. They're getting those, monthly payment reminders. They're getting the birthday cards. I know that if they hit the no-show button, that AI is going to go back and try and rebook that person for them. But if you're not hitting it, then we can't get you that value. And sometimes here at Lead Champ, we feel like personal trainers with clients that we know really want to get in shape, that said they'd come work out with us, and we're at the gym like, where are y'all? And they're paying us anyway. So we feel bad. We're like, we want to help them win. So the reason why we wanted to have you on, Sheila, and Dylan a little bit later on, is because y'all are using it and getting, good value out of it. I mean, we hear you guys obviously give us tons of accolades, and we appreciate all the positive feedback. But first thing, if you just want to introduce yourself to everyone, go ahead and do that. Who are you? How long have you been in insurance? Kind of just like the short version, wherever you're from, and then we'll jump into some other questions.
Okay, perfect. Well, my name is Sheila Day, as Nick has already said, and I appreciate you all having me on today. I get super nervous, Nick, so just lead me along the way. Whatever you want me to, just lead me on. I'm good.
Perfect. No,
But
no need to be nervous. I've listened to you on the phone. You're a champion.
thank you. I have been here, and this FFL has been my only insurance experience. So I've been here about 4.5 years, a little over 4.5 years now. And yes, Jamie kills it on the phones dialing. I learned from a lot from Jamie. The biggest thing I probably learned from Jamie, besides how to dial and set appointments, was that unmuting is the only way we get better. So from that day forward, I have unmuted, and it is very rare that I'm not unmuting a call if I'm talking live to somebody. So
You have to be
um,
brave to do that. So kudos to you. A lot of people think that live dials is about listening to other people dial, but it's not. It's about having those that are good at it listen to you so that they can correct you and you can get better. It's yeah, you're very smart to do that. I'm impressed. A lot of people don't recognize that.
yeah, definitely getting the feedback is key, and being able to be coachable and accept that feedback. But yes, I live outside of Nashville in Portland, Tennessee. I live north of Nashville. I am literally 4 minutes from the Kentucky line. So for people who know Tennessee and Kentucky, I tell people I'm 20 minutes from Bowling Green, Kentucky, because I'm closer to
Nice.
that than I am Nashville. But
Okay, so
that's me in a nutshell.
you've outlasted most people, right? A lot of people don't have 4 years of experience doing this. So you've seen multiple cycles, you've seen different things change, different lead types come and go. First off, let's just go to this. Like, what's your favorite feature or product that LeadChamp offers? Like, what are you using that you just love every single day? Whether it's the new dialer or any of the old stuff. What's your favorite thing so far?
Well, right now, absolutely hands down, that new dialer is amazing. If you're not on it and you already have Lead Champ, you should be using it. It's amazing. I think I've sold a couple of people on it just by talking about it so much on here. Because it literally the connectivity has been better. The integration is just amazing. The Josh touched on the analytics last call. Oh my gosh, we've been tracking with this 40K club. We've been tracking our analytics, and they're all there. It's like you don't even have to write it down anymore. They're all there. So that definitely, but outside of that, in the Lead Champ platform itself, my probably my favorite features have been any of the buttons, but the what happened buttons and the ability to change the pipeline statuses quickly. Everything, those buttons across the top are just gold. And the what happened buttons, though, to your point earlier, Nick, of being able to just push a button, put the information in there, it goes out to the clients, and then they're nurtured from there. And then they even ask them about, did you get your policy? Have you put it in a safe place? It nurtures those annual reviews that many of us forget about.
Yeah.
It has been truly amazing. But those what happened buttons are by far my favorite part.
Well, so and you obviously click the buttons. We know that because we see your sales pop off in the system all the time. We see you, doing good work. And let me ask you this, because this, maybe you could even talk to. Was it difficult to start to incorporate this into your system? Because people become creatures of habit, right? Like we have a way we do things. Like I remember, the timeline when you started is selling is probably defines the way that you even like do a client inventory or like the structure of your appointments or what you say on the phone. So how difficult was it for you to actually start using LeadChamp? And are there any things that you have done to help incorporate it into your sales cycle, into your process to make sure that you are getting value out of it instead of just paying? Because we have some people that are just paying for it, And I feel bad. 'Cause I'm like, if you were
Yeah,
using it, you'd love it, but you got to use it.
right,
So how did
right.
you kind of make that transition?
So interesting because I have gone through several transitions because when I started, we were hand dialing. There was no other, there was just hand dialing. And then we got this wonderful thing called phone burner, and we were just
Great.
thrilled to have it until we broke it because there were so many of us. And um and then we were feeling like our first world problems were real. We had to hand dial again. But through all those transitions, I've also been on other go high level platforms. They all basically operate the same, but to have something that is fully built out for you, for anybody who has had to, I tell Josh all the time, I have utmost respect for you guys because anybody who has, and I've done it in another platform, put together workflows and tried to even get close to simulating anything close to what you have here in Lead Champ Pro is an immense amount of time and a lot of cost. Like you can't just
None of
make
us
this
know
happen.
how to do it either. Only
Yeah.
Josh does. Realistically, like it's actually incredible. We all feel the same way as you. We're like, how did you build this? Right? Like all of the, because it's so complicated to where one little thing goes wrong and it messes up a dozen other things. And I see him play doctor all the time. Like people ask me, like, what's the advantage of having Lead Champ versus another one of the other high levels out there?
All
I'll
done
tell
for
you.
you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. It's that leaderboard. You heard Josh and Jamie both being on the top 10 list, right? And so whenever anything isn't working perfectly, or if something can be improved in the process, they're in there working on it, making it better, constantly. So it is a lot. You're correct. If you were going to try and build it yourself, like I can't even imagine. But how did you transition from like, how'd you start getting yourself to click the button? Like, do you do it while you're still on the phone with the client, or how do you even work it into your workflow?
I'll be honest, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, but even just hearing you prompt that on the text to me prior to this was like, yes, I need to remember to do that because it is great when you can do it when you're on the phone with them. They get that text immediately. Oh yeah, I've got it. Here's all my information about my policy right here. Or here's that IUL information you were sending me. I love it being able to hit those buttons during the conversation. Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about. Oh, well, let me send you some information about it. Click. And I don't have to come up with some great email or some great text. It's done. It's just a button. So I love that. Another thing that I've changed as I've transitioned from platform to platform, because to your point, when we started, we were in the field, we had financial inventories printed out and credibility sheets and all of that. I still used the handwritten one for a long time. It wasn't until really just prior to coming to Lead Champ, I started using another app to put my notes in digitally and then add them in. Now I literally put them in the notes section of Lead Champ. I know what the financial inventory is. I mean, yes, if I needed it, I could have it right here to my side and give me the prompts I need, but I know what it is. I just need the information I need in order to do what it is I need to do for the client and serve the client. So I started putting it right in notes and
Okay.
then saving the notes because that saves me so much time when I go back to um, talk to that client again. All I have to do is go back to my notes and I can see exactly what they had. Let's say they come back 2 years later well, has anything changed? Here's what I had before. What changes are there? I have all of their information right there. And it makes it much easier to do that annual review or to do those follow-up sales when they come. So I love
So
that's probably my biggest change that I've made is going from paper to digital and then fully integrating it into LCP with the notes.
and for anyone on here that's like, no, I'm going to keep doing my paper. Keep doing your paper and take 1 second and snap a picture of it, okay, and email it to yourself or whatever you have to add it in when you hit the what happened button and save that record. The 30 seconds it takes to hit the what happened button, guys, is a lifetime of value if you just do it. But I did mention this to Dylan and Sheila beforehand. Like, I don't know if you guys have thought of this, but here's a way if anyone's trying to use the product more and get better value out of it. This is one implementation I would try. Make it a goal, because habits take 20 or 30 days, depending on who you are, depending on what study you read, 20 or 30 days of repetition before it locks in. So give yourself a little challenge. Here's the challenge. Before you hang up the phone with every client for the next 30 days, go ahead and fill out the form. And here's what you're doing while you're filling it out. Take an extra 1 minute to build rapport with them after the sale. Okay, so you're locking it in. When we used to do in-homes, you would really have a much higher retention rate just by default if you're a friendly person, because while you're sitting there putting in the application, you're having like 20 minutes of conversation over the dinner table or wherever it may be, and you're building a rapport with them. And then if you're Jamie and you've got this nice red envelope with every single thing, their policy, everything they need, you're leaving that behind for them. So here's how you take that from the in-home to virtual sales. You use Lead Champ. And while you're still on the phone with them, even if you're sharing your screen, which I recommend, use Crankwheel, share lead champ. The only reason I'm not sharing it right now on the call, by the way, is so we can put this on YouTube, because YouTube just doesn't like that. Okay, guys. Otherwise, I would show you visually right now. But share your lead champ screen. Click the what happened button while you're on there and say, hey, I'm just going to take a quick second and put your policy into my system so that it will send you everything you need. And then go through and they can watch you fill it in. Monthly premium, the why they got it, you know what I mean? The carrier, and it makes you look like a broker for real, because they're seeing you scroll through every single product offered, all the different companies. Yeah, it's increasing your credibility. Well, then that 1 extra minute of rapport building and clicking submit, and then you confirm it. You go, hey, check your phone. Do you have a text for me? I do. You should have an email also that has all your policy info. That's my office number. You can text into that if you need us. You know what I mean? And now you've confirmed, like now you've locked that client in, but you've also done the only one task that you have to in Lead Champ to trigger the birthday card, the New Year's card, the thank you card, the monthly payment reminders, you know what I mean? The missed payment button. All of this only works if you hit that first what happened button. So I know Sheila hits it every single time. I don't know. I guess maybe she didn't have to like force herself to do this, because I see it pop up whenever she makes a sale. But I want to challenge y'all to do that. Do a 30-day challenge before you hang up the phone with each client. Just finish that 30 seconds and conclude it. Like, get it done. And you will feel so good, but then that'll also develop that habit. All right, one more question for you, Sheila, and then I'll let you get off here. But I really do appreciate you coming on and sharing. You know what? Like, I know you're loving the dialer, okay? And I believe I heard this secondhand, but I believe I heard that your goal was to see if you could beat your speed with your previous dialer, but then you couldn't because everyone was answering the phone, which is like the greatest first world problem ever. So I know you're hyped about the dialer, but since you guys are some of our top users, we really appreciate your opinion. What's something that you would like to see Lead Champ come out with in the future? Obviously, no promises, right? It might go in the blue sprinkle category, but you know where do you see us missing an opportunity, a feature, a product that you would like to see us add?
Here's the only thing I thought of, and I honestly don't know that it's the best idea, right? So when I was using the previous dollar, we had the feature of multi-line dollar with the human AI detection, meaning that they only answered when they heard the human, or sometimes it would get voicemails. I mean, let's be real. Sometimes it thought it was a real voice. And the speed of that was great. However, the moment I started with the Connect dialer, I'm like, holy cow, but these people are picking up. So I don't want to sacrifice one for the other, if that makes sense. So I don't know if it's possible to have that feature and still maintain the credibility of the platform.
I got to be careful with my answer here. I think technically that type of feature is not allowed by some municipalities. Okay. But
got you.
But I think that it's a feature that you could turn on in Lead Champ right now. However, okay, I actually do think you're spot on. I think, let's say you're working 150, 200 new leads a week or even a month, calling them all within 10 seconds of each other doesn't necessarily help you more. Where I've seen Josh get incredible value out of the second he sees a lead come in, he calls them right then. And you're taking, like, the speed to lead matters way more. And then when you actually sit down to dialer, yeah, auto dialers and power dialers are different, 100%. Jamie, dead on. So we have a power dialer. You know what I mean? It's not an auto dialer. It's a power.
Thanks, Jamie.
Right? And by the way, if you're already a user and you want to check that out, leadchampconnect.com. It's not available for non-CRM users yet. It will be standalone at some point. But right now, anyone who's already using Lead Champ, you can get the dialer leadchampconnect.com. And you're right. A lot of people do offer that, but is it even better? And I don't.
And that was kind of my question. Like, I'm not saying it would be. I'm saying I don't know. So hey, you guys tell me.
So the reason I want to ask you that is because we have gotten some of the best ideas and also some of the worst ideas, right, as feedback from clients. Like, well, some stuff's untested, right? Until we test it, we don't know. And so, guys, if you ever have like ideas for us of stuff you'd like to see us build, things like that, we do want to hear about them. Sometimes we were like, like if you're like, hey, you guys have this and we don't have it, we feel bad, right? So it's tough, like be positive about it. But if you have suggestions for us, let us know. We do keep a list, what we call the blue sprinkles list, right? We're focused on making sure the cake and icing are really good. Okay, but if we have time, we'll add the blue sprinkles as well, right? Like that beneficiary button that we added. So
that's fire. I got 6 more going in at some point today. I'm waiting for my client from yesterday to send me the phone numbers.
Really? Okay, so
Yeah.
you've already used it. What have your
I'm
just
asking and I'm getting, and now, and I'm all, one thing I'm also doing is I was already getting beneficiary numbers because, to Josh's point from a couple of weeks ago, I learned my lesson with a death claim as well, and not having those backup numbers. So I've been getting phone numbers, and I said, "Hey, Josh, if I take those as I find them now, because they're in my beneficiary notes, as I find them, can I put those and push the button?" He's like, "Yeah." So as I'm finding those, that's something I'm gonna be doing too, is adding those in. But now I do have 5 or 6 more from yesterday that are going in as soon as I get the numbers.
well, not to put you on the spot, but have any messaged you back? Have any booked with you? How's it gone?
I've had a couple book with me. I've had the one sale, and I think I posted that one, but I have had a couple book with me. I have had a couple situations, actually one very recent, where the client was very adamant, do not contact them. I will cancel if you contact them. But yes, I'll give you their phone number. But they didn't want, and I've honored that, right? I didn't put them in
Yeah.
the beneficiary section. I have it in my other section where on the beneficiary with the number. And he, even when he got his policy summary, he messaged me back and said, "Remember, don't call them," because he can see I put their phone numbers there.
Right.
"Remember, don't call them unless you're trying." So if something happens to him, I can call them, but not, he didn't want that contact, and I'm going to honor that. But most people are like, "Yeah, absolutely, call them. I don't know what they
Right.
have, or I don't know if they have, you know." So most
That's
of the
awesome. So you've even already just confirmed you already made a sale to a
yes,
beneficiary, basically a free lead in this
yes,
case. That's
yes.
amazing. I'm so glad you're already using it. And yes, I think Jamie's right here, Sheila's right here, guys. Always ask permission. I'm assuming that like I could think of a scenario where I would want to leave money to someone and not let them know. You know what I mean as well. So I totally get that. I think that you should respect their wishes. And if
Absolutely.
if you guys haven't heard Josh and Jamie's training on this, by the way, don't go into those appointments with like, hey, here's all the information on their policy. Instead, just go, hey, I just want to let you know there is a policy. You're named as a beneficiary. They can share the details if they want to with you, but here's what you need to do if something happens. And then you get the opportunity then to say, hey, do you have coverage yourself, right? Or have you, who handles your coverage or whatever it may be to find a potential sale there. So maybe add that into your challenge, guys. If you're already going to do 30 days of hitting the button every single time before you get off, maybe you add the challenge. I'm also going to always put in the beneficiary unless they say don't contact them, right? On every single appointment, and see if you can't double the value of your leads this month, right? Get twice as many at bats for the same price for your leads. I think it's pretty incredible. Sheila, thank you again so much for coming on, and thank you for always being a positive voice, posting in the Good News channel, being on the live dials. We really appreciate it, guys. Be like Sheila, post in the Good News channel, show up to live dials, be positive, and then you'll sell like her as well, hopefully. So thank you so much for coming on. Any last minute tips, anything else you want to share with people that's working for you? Positive advice, anything like that?
Just a statement of clarity on that beneficiary lead. So if you do have those that don't give you the permission to share, like this guy didn't, when I say I'm putting it in my beneficiary notes, the spot where it says, beneficiary, I'm just adding the phone number right there next to the name. And I've always done that. I've done that since I started with Lead Champ, but just put it right there, and it goes to them. They can see you have it, but they know that you're going to honor that and not call them. So that's what I meant by that.
Awesome, Sheila. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
on. We so
you. Thanks
appreciate
for having
you.
me.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sure I'll see you back on live dials later this afternoon and tomorrow. I'm gonna bring up Dylan Priest. And guys, for those of you that haven't met or had the chance to spend some time with Dylan Priest, I did get a little bit of time, with him at the Ignite event in Arizona, get to hear his process. In fact, it was really cool. I was playing ping pong, so I wasn't 100% locked in. Okay, I wasn't like 100% locked in, but he went through his entire call process, like step by step, right? Around the campfire with some other agents, and to be able to hear how he had it structured exactly, doing it the same way every single time. He had his process down, down pat. It's definitely shows in his results, obviously. Like Dylan's been on our leads in the past, so I got a chance to see some of his sales numbers. He's had many $100,000 months. He absolutely is a beast on the phone. He crushes it. So top performer for sure, but was really impressed not just at your skill, but at the knowledge that you were able to impart at the table and be able to transfer to other people. So appreciate you coming on the call today, man. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Anything else you want to say as far as introducing yourself, where you're from, what you're about, how long you've been doing this?
Oh man. Yeah, no. I mean, you pretty much crushed it, but Yeah, I've been doing this. It'll be a little over 2 years in October. I came from like a small little captive company. Won't name names on this or anything like that. I was only there for like 2 months or so. I just I did that for 2 months and I just realized there's gotta be a better way of doing this. We were like strapped to Zoom, hour-long phone conversations, and I'm like, how can I build a business and be profitable when I have to, if I'm out and about with my family, I gotta run back to pull up a computer and hopefully show up for a Zoom. I'm like, there's gotta be a better process, right? So then I ended up finding FFL. And then prior to that, I was a director at Rocket Mortgage. I was there for about 4 or 5 years, ran a team of about 300 people. And then the rest is history from there. So
So you've got plenty of sales experience before this, but not in insurance that long. You've already obviously picked it up and been climbing to the top. What's like, kind of similar questions to Sheila. What's like one of your favorite things that we offer? What are some of the products that you're using a lot, that you're getting a lot of value out of? And maybe if you want to incorporate into that, how do you include them into your day to day, to actually work them into your sales process?
yeah, so LCP has a lot of different like perks. Like I love it. So like I've tried tons, I mean like tons of different CRMs. I've probably used them all. And there's different variations of Go High Level, but like the way this is built out, it's different, right? It's built from life insurance agents for life insurance agents. So you literally are dealing with people that know what you're going through and can tailor it to you, which makes things so much better and so much streamlined because you have all these other, CRMs and stuff out there, which is they do fantastic jobs, right? But there's just something about having that personal touch with the CRM that you're actually physically using that that is like you don't need to change anything because it just works, right? Where other CRMs you might have to make some tweaks, make some little difference here, or they might be like, oh, that's just how it is. It's different, right? Like you could probably go on about this one thing for hours, but
Yes, people show up all the time day one with us, and they've been with other Go High levels, and that's one of the things that's common. They're like, "Well, I'm sure it's going to take me like 5 days to write up all my messages and everything, right?" And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. All of the messages are already pre-written, tested, ready to go. You know what I mean? Like you just have to load your leads in." And they're like, "What?" Because it is
yeah.
because it is set up differently. You're absolutely correct. Now the downside is you can't customize it. People want to customize sometimes. They think they know the magic words. So if you want to customize, you got to go build your own. But if you want something that's already done for you, it's already structured for you. You're absolutely right. Well, talk to me about how you work it into your process, because I see your numbers. You know what I mean. I've heard how you run your calls, but I also see you definitely disposition your leads, right? Like I see your numbers populated. You're hitting the what happened button. You're booking them on your calendar, right? You're actually using it. So was the transition hard for you, or were you like right away, like you made it, like how did you incorporate it?
Um, there's always a little bit of a learning curve with everything you do, and tech is tech, right? So I I have a huge tech background. I've been in tech since I was 5. I have a background in network security and cybersecurity. So I have a little bit, probably like a leg up than most people. But for how simple it is, it's pretty straightforward. Like you don't need like you can't if you don't know how to do anything, there's a whole like boot camp. There's a whole learning section. So if like I have a new agent that comes on and they are trying to just get some appointment settings for me and just learning that, it's super simple. I'm like, hey, watch this first, do this first, then come talk to me about some questions and learn as you go. Um, and I think it's pretty forgiving. Like if you mess up, cool, a tech, someone might get a text, but it's fine. But what I physically did, like in order to make sure I was set up for success, is I put myself in there as a client. And if I don't know how something works, I use my own profile with my own number as a dummy account to send different automations and workflows through it. So then I physically know what my client is going to be sent and I can talk on that. And that way I'm not like kind of, oh my gosh, what happened? So if something breaks, I know like, hey, this is probably we're missing something in the workflow. And then I just submit a support ticket and just either confirm or deny. So that's kind of what I did. And as far as incorporating it is it truly makes you mobile, right? So like being able to dial, take appointments while you're in Japan or like working or at Disney or just doing whatever. It's just Josh is over here like, man, just work in Japan on your own, right? Yeah. It gives you freedom. And then the new dialer on top of that, like, is probably my absolute most favorite thing, hands down. Like, I am so happy to get rid of the other company because I tested this before. We just came back yesterday from California, and I'm like, I wonder, since this is a web-based browser now, not an extension, if I can actually just dial power dollar while I'm like standing in line bored for an hour, right? Because you got nothing else to do. And yeah, I just pulled it up and I was able to just power dollar right there on my phone and set appointments while I'm just out and about doing things instead of having to be tied to a computer. So like
Wow.
probably the best dialer I've ever seen so far. I am so happy with it.
Dude,
So
okay.
yeah,
Let's
all the
go.
metrics. So, but on the flip side, it's giving me a little bit of anxiety because now I have so much more metrics I didn't have before, and I'm finding little pieces of like, wow, how many calls have you not been consistent? How many calls have you not said my name or certain things, or even brought up the freaking goal, right? So like, there's little things you're finding, but it's also good things that you know, if you don't know, you don't know. So it's
Yeah,
good.
I didn't actually know that the dialer worked on mobile like that. So you're talking on your phone, you just pulled it up, signed in, started dialing, like head like
Yeah, I
Bluetooth
pull
in.
up Connect Dialer. Yeah, just right on my Google Chrome, I pull up Connect Dialer, and it says full or mobile. I tapped in mobile. I select the list. I hit start, and it just starts dialing through everything. And then if I have a client on the line, I have dispositions all there. I can exit out of the app and pull up Pokemon Go and walk around, or like the lead champ and book an appointment, and it won't disconnect the call. So it's like you're truly now mobile, and you can do this from anywhere in the world as long as you just have your process going and you go through. Like I even upload my scripts on there so people can't complain about not having a script. Like it's great.
And so, and actually, talk to me about that feature. If you load your own scripts in when you're dialing, they pop up right in front of you, right? Even based on the lead
Um,
type, is that true as well? You can like have a mortgage protection script and a final expense script, and it'll alternate for you.
yeah, so I have a couple scripts in there now. I have appointment setting for agents and I have appointment setting for my setter. And then as I'm going through that, so I copy and paste my script. And you have to go through there and format yourself and color coordinate and all that stuff. So it takes a little bit of time. But if you're either on your browser or on your phone, you can hit the button that says script and it'll pull up the script in the middle and you can read the script verbatim. You can even do custom profile fields where I can actually have go high level manually importing the goal and the client's name into the script. So it changes automatically for them. So that way
Wow.
it's literally they have to just read it and learn tonality.
No way. Okay, I didn't even know this about our own stuff. That's actually super fun. Okay, awesome. I got a couple more questions for you. I didn't prep you for
Yeah,
that, but
go for it.
before I go to that, actually, let me ask you about what you'd like to see. Okay, because I gave Sheila the opportunity. And what would you like to see if we were to develop a new product, a new feature? Where do you see a hole? Where do you see an opportunity for us? Would love your feedback.
Um, I think the only hole that I've probably found, and it's not a bad hole, it's not even an issue, it's just more like a personal thing,
I'm asking
is
for it.
yeah, so I'm finding out that when I'm going through my process, I'm I like to hit like I hit all you know me, I hit all the buttons, right? But like there's still like that little disconnect where like if a client is sold, and sometimes if it's like past like if we're pushing out like 14 days, which I know you're not supposed to, but sometimes you do. Sometimes the automation will just trickle all the way up to like the reminders of like if they got a policy. But then if they were to cancel and they miss payment, there's always that gap of where like, okay, is it still active, but did it charge back? And now you're on as earned with this client. Like there's probably this is a little bit of like commission cap, which is again, it's not a big deal because he's tracking so many things. But if we had something where maybe we upload a CSV or an Excel file from the carrier and it read that we use an AI or something like that and saw there's a negative or a positive in there and recorrelated that within LCP to actually get true metrics of what is like either on the books or not on the books, that might be beneficial. But again, that's a whole other process, which is probably could take a little bit.
That's
But you
no,
know,
that sounds super cool, actually. Now, I'm sure Josh is somewhere on here like that sounds really like a lot of hours, actually. But no, that sounds pretty cool. And of course, leave it up to Dylan, guys. I'm asking like, hey, what kind of new features you like to see? And he's like, let me tell you this nuanced spot in the life cycle of a client. These particular clients at this time, we could be doing better here. Like that's how you know. That's why he's selling 100K a month, in my opinion, because he knows his business forward and backward. Like he and by the way, everyone on here, you heard he tested on himself. Everyone who wants to do that, let me tell you how to do that properly because not everyone, but a lot of people try to do this and they don't do it correctly. And then they think their stuff doesn't work. Okay. And they're calling me like, hey, it's not working. So the red button at the very top for add contact, you have to add yourself as a new lead like that. Give yourself a lead type, make yourself an IUL or final expense or whatever it is, and put yourself in through that form. and then put yourself into an automation, add yourself to the new IUL workflow, whatever it may be. And during that process, you're going to get tagged so that all the things work, so that the appointment reminders work, so that the no-show button works. So then if you want to test it on yourself, you can, and it will work. If you use the go high level add contact button, it won't tag you properly and none of the things will work. None of the messages will go out, the reminders won't work. So if you want to test it yourself, make sure you use that red button at the top. And then I do appreciate that feedback, Dylan. I'll talk.
Yeah.
Josh actually probably appreciates that nuanced position. I don't know about reporting live, like real time policy info. I don't know how we could do that. We'd have to get the carriers to work with us, but maybe, who knows? Maybe we'll get big enough we can do that one day. Let me transition to one other topic that I didn't prep you for, but you were on our leads for a while. I believe up until March. You were on like 5 or 6 months. And I was looking at your all-time data recently. I think you spent like 60,000 in ad spend or around there and sold like 580,000 in premium during that time, which is obviously like congrats, kudos to you. Like you're outperforming our average by quite a bit. You know what I mean? And then you decide, well, just make sure everyone knows, like, hey, like not everyone on our leads is selling like 10x. Okay, that's really impressive. But then you decided to get off our leads whenever the Facebook ad changes happened, and no one really knew what was going to happen. We don't blame you. Every company was in turmoil. Prices were skyrocketing. Random people were filling out the form. Facebook's just sending it to anybody,
Yeah.
But recently you decided to come back. And I was just curious, for anyone that, maybe is considering using us as a lead vendor, what did you like about it? You could share what you didn't like as well. Like, no, you don't have to hold back, you understood. But why did you decide to come back? What are the metrics you're looking for? How do you kind of like distinguish between one set of leads or another? What are the things that you care about on that?
Yeah, so I'll say this. So I've gone through a lot of different lead vendors, up to you guys too. And it's hard because I see with a lot of agents, they dabble in a lot of things, right? They either go mortgage protection and that's not working, then they go ethos, or they go from ethos, they go to, oh, let's just do some ads in general life and hope it works, right? It's like you're throwing spaghetti and hoping it's done because it sticks to the wall and you're just not going to learn anything. So what I did was, even before I went to LCP, so like probably like over the last like a year ago, I had a realization of like, I'm not going to try and get good at multiple different leads. I'm going to hone my skills in one niche. So I came from a mortgage background. I was sick of talking about mortgages, so I didn't want to do mortgages. I didn't want to talk about general life because general life, it's not bad, but like it's a lot of final expense, a lot of death talk. I like numbers, and I like numbers to me is like easy selling because it just makes sense. And if I'm selling a financial product, so that's why I gravitated towards IULs, and I really, really, really honed and became an expert on that, so I can simplify how I can have those conversations with people. So now when I have multiple lead vendors, I could truly say, when a lead vendor comes to me and says, "Oh, you're not working it enough." Okay, I'm sorry, dude. Like, if you really want to talk to me about working my leads enough, like, let's have a conversation. I'll show you all the stats, but like, let's not do that. And I've had vendors do that to me, and I end up leaving because I can now know how they're running their marketing, because I can tell by the conversation the people are coming in, whether I see the ad or not, because I truly know my demographics and my clientele. And if they're talking about, $50 is not enough, or X, Y, Z, you're like, okay, something's happening. And now I'm starting to tweak little things. And I know my process is solid, so maybe it's my appointment setter. And if my appointment setter is solid, okay, then there's something with my demographics and my leads are changing, right? So I went through a lot of different vendors when in that little bit of gap, when I was in between the whole Facebook thing. I was, just grabbing some quick instant leads, while, we were figuring out, or LCB was also figuring out, YouTube, go high level, or not go high level, Google, all that stuff, right? And I I came to a realization of like, I would rather be like first of all, I want multiple vendors, right? Because I don't want to rely on one. But I would rather pay one person a management fee and then have them run different ads. So like if I'm doing 200 here, okay, let's start another ad over here for 200 and have it funnel in. But the more important thing is, I miss having all the data that I have in order to have the
That's what's
demographics, the
fun.
leads, and the
Yeah.
sold. Yeah, because you know what I did? I pulled all the data from LCP for all those months and all my sales, and I had this data, and I built a Google Gym AI specifically tailored for marketing to pull my demographics and analyze all of it. And now I have all my demographics and my target clients and my target base that I can now run different ads. And then I tweak my script and how you say things towards it. So it's just finding little edges and using that. And if I didn't have that data, I could pull some stuff from LCP, but it's not going to be like this detailed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. Like on a daily basis, whenever I'm showing people the leads, the one thing they comment on, they go, "Wow, like, do I get a spreadsheet like this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we do. We provide you all this data. The reason we provide it is because we don't want to be ever being like, Dylan, are you calling your leads? We can tell. We don't have to guess, right? We can look at the sheets. We know, guys, those of you that are buying leads with us and you don't call them, we know. Okay. Whenever AI booked 40 appointments and you booked 8 for the month, we know you didn't call them. Okay. It should be like 40 and 60, right? So we can tell if that's happening. But on the flip side, we can tell if someone like Dylan is like running his process, making his dials, but his response rate's way down. Well, that's something happening with our ads. That's something happening with the leads. So the more data we have, the more we can course correct and make sure that we're providing the best value possible. But it also helps you as the agent know, are we like, recently we looked at a couple people's accounts, okay, and compared their lead types. Like you said, you have multiple vendors. Well, if you have two lead types coming into Lead Champ, both new leads, and one of them has a 20% response rate and one of them has a 5% response rate, well, you might want to go take the thousands of dollars you're spending over here and spend them over here and get a better return. But normally you can't make that type of educated decision because you don't have that data. We don't have people that even can't compare to us because I'm like, hey, here's our data. What's yours? And they're like, well, I don't have it. And I'm like, well, it's probably worse than this is what I'm guessing. But what you should do is get us because then you'll have the data. So it's interesting that you said that was one of the reasons that you came back.
Yeah, and I have it's my main reason because if you have the money, you're spending money for knowledge, right? Like I could throw money away at other vendors and that's fine, but I would much rather pay my money and have ads and everything run that I can track and grow everything. If I don't have KPIs, I don't have the metrics, I could just keep thinking winging stuff, but then like in the reality of it is I don't know what it is. Right. So now that I have all the data and the features, I can really do some coaching. I can really do feedback. I can really dive into it and just kind of, keep going further and further into it. So yeah, data is everything for me. I would pay a huge premium for data because that's how, I mean, look at Google. They have so much data, which is why they can get away with so much stuff because they have years and years and years and years and years of data. So yeah, data is everything.
100%. Okay, last question, and putting you on the spot again, but like appreciate you bringing so much value to the call. Obviously, you're a big fan of Lead Champ. We've seen you promote it and tell other people about it. And we really appreciate that. So, Lead Champ or not, just what are some tips for everyone on here that wants to sell more, get more done with their time? Like you're obviously a top, producer. You're a winner. Like I'm sure you're winning in mortgages before, but you're doing you're doing numbers that a lot of people aspire to. So, is there any? I know there's not like secrets, but are there any things that you would tell everyone to apply if they really want to take their business to the next level, whether it's Lead Champ related or not?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I'll just say what I'm kicking myself in the butt for is just doing the dials, right? Like I got in a habit where I was leaning on my appointments there because I was doing so much. I had like 20, 30 appointments a day and I had no choice, right? But now that, we're ramping everything back up a little bit, I'm focusing a little bit on recruiting, numbers are pulled back a little bit. Like there's no excuse. I can definitely dial. And if I dialed more, I would have more, generally booked appointments because no matter how you use for like a dialer or an agent or whatever, they're never going to be better than yourself. So you might as well just do it yourself and get back in that rhythm.
The chat is cracking me up right now. I
Huh?
apologize.
Is it?
Like, yeah, Dylan's only building his own AI to analyze his data, and then someone else is like, actually, this isn't even Dylan. Dylan built another AI to come on this call so he can still be working, and this is actually a Dylan AI. So they're cracking me up.
No,
You're talking.
that's so funny because I'm actually already working on like an AI for like dialing and like rebuttals. So it's going to be just basically a rebuttal trainer and everything. So I love tech, man. If I can make stuff streamlined and I don't have to be involved, then why not? Like I'm
You're gonna
integrating a
implement it all.
workflow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm working on right now integrating a workflow into LCP for my AI, where it's actually going to go based off goals and send them a custom voicemail drop right when the lead comes in. So that way they're getting a missed voicemail and they're picking it up, listening to it to like respond or call. So
So okay, so while I've got you on here, then there's one more thing I want to talk about. I'll just leave you up here because I was going to talk about it without
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
but you'll know about this. So anyone who's on here that's heard about the new iOS update that's coming out in October, okay? Anyone heard any doomsday people that are like phone sales are going away forever because of this? Okay, first off, that is hilarious marketing garbage. Okay, and anyone who's out there saying that is just trying to take your money. That's nonsense. Okay. Well, here's what I want you to do when you get off this call. Go in your iPhone and see what update you're on. Okay, you're on probably like 17, 18, 19. You're nowhere close to 26. We're talking about a small portion of the population that's going to have this feature. And here's how it's going to work. Let me walk you guys through this. When you call somebody, if you're not a contact in their phone and they have this turned on, okay, and they have it turned on, you will have to tell them, hey, this is Nick calling about the IUL, and then it's going to let them know. And then they decide if they want to take your call or not. Now, spoilers for everyone on here, especially if you're dating, but if you're selling insurance, you need to know this. If people don't want to talk to you, they're not going to. Okay? No matter how interested you are, if they're not interested, they're not going to take your call. Even if they filled out the form, if they don't want to talk to you now, they're going to screen your call. They're going to send you to voicemail. They're not going to talk to you. And on the flip side, if they do want the insurance, they do want to talk to you, surprise, they are going to take your call. However, we are working on a pretty cool feature that we're going to, I mean, I don't know what the implementation time on this is because I'm putting Josh on the spot here, but I've already seen it work. So I know it can't be too far to add something like this. But the team already put together a ability for you to create a contact card and have it sent out through LeadChamp Pro. So that instead of just saying, hey, Dylan, I'm going to be calling from this number, hey, here's my contacts, you can go ahead and save it. Now, will everyone do it? Absolutely not. Of course not. But the ones that do, when you call, it'll go straight through, right? Instead, and they'll see who's calling. Now, you already have that in like a pseudo fashion with Send Blue, because if you've already been texting them, when you call, it says, hey, maybe Dylan's calling. And I don't even think that the iOS will filter you out on that. But keep in mind, once again, only a small portion of phones owned by a small portion of people who actually turn them on will have that feature. A lot of people already have it right now, by the way, with Google Voice. If you guys haven't already called someone that has that, I've already dealt with that many times. And if they want to take your call, they will. And if they don't, they won't. Telesales isn't going away. It's not going to change anything. If you didn't know about it, you wouldn't notice it. However, we are building a technology to handle that. And to Dylan's point, when you implement some of this stuff on your end, even before we can, let's say, you'll get high value on it. Like Josh has been talking about how he sends voice memos out. I don't know if you've implemented that as well, Dylan. But every day you have, okay. Yeah. So beginning of the day, Josh is sending out voice memos to all of his appointments manually. That's increasing his show rate. That's worth doing. Now, maybe sometime in the future, we have an AI that replicates you, that includes their name, that sends out a voicemail without you automatically, right? That would be really cool. But for now, if you know about it, you should do it, implement it, get the value. That's what Dylan's out here doing, right? He's applying stuff that we don't even have access to yet. Okay, with AI, we'll get there eventually, right? He's way ahead of us. But in the meantime, he's using it for what he can. So just want to let you guys know about that. If you heard about that update, if you're concerned about it, it's not something to be concerned about. You shouldn't be worried about it. Anyone who's telling you to be worried about it, they're just trying to sell you something. And that thing that they're advertising, we are building that as well. So you can have a really cool, feature for that. It's pretty simple. But yeah, don't stress that, guys. Like by the way, Apple is the main way people do a lot of business. They're not trying to stop business. They're trying to stop spammers, right? People aren't trying to not get your call either if they fill out the form. So it may be your leads, not your, necessarily, right, the call itself. I do think there's probably a skill element to that. What do you think, Dylan? Like how you open whenever it asks you probably increases your chance that they filter you through. But even then, like if they don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have, sadly, I have Google phone, it sucks. I don't use it for like another month, then I'm going back to iPhone because
But you have the feature. You get
I
this
do have
feature.
the feature.
Yeah.
Yep, I have it. And it's more actually a pain in the butt than anything. And it's turned on automatically. It's really a pain. And most clients don't even know they have it. So like I get sent I'll have people that say yes and respond. They go straight to voicemail every single freaking time. And I just leave them voicemail, and then I literally will send them like from my text. Sometimes not even send blue. I'll just pull up my cell phone, and because they have a better response regardless of what you're using, right? It's your own personal cell phone, and I'll just send them a voicemail saying, "Hey, John, this is Dylan. Give me a call. You must have forgotten about our IUL appointment. Ha ha. This is about your end goal with the cash value growth accounts for the compounding of this. Shoot me a call. I'll be available for the next 5 minutes, right?" And then I just move on regardless. And then they'll either call me back or text me. But the voicemail is key because if you haven't never sent them a text and then all of a sudden you see a voicemail, I don't care who you are. If you don't know who that number is, you're curious, you're going to play the voicemail and you're going to listen to it, right? Whether they call you back or not, but they're going to listen to it.
I agree.
So I just do things that are pattern disruptors. So if whatever you think is normal and what you've been trained on back in sales all this time, kind of, I just forget about it and I start going self-reflecting of why do I respond to the messages? Why am I responding out to people? What is it that I am doing? And then I just try and put myself in my client's shoes to kind of re-engineer it. So
Guys, that right there is billion-dollar marketing advice, right? If you wouldn't respond to the ad, no one's going to. Think about that, right? Like if you wouldn't respond to the message, that's very good advice. Dylan, thank you so much for spending the time. I know
Yeah.
you could be selling. You probably could have made $2,000 in this 30 minutes. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing with all the Lead Champ clients. Thanks for being, a productive user of the service and spreading the word and posting in the Good News channel and being part of the community. We really appreciate you. If we could ever do anything for you, please let us know. And
Sure.
guys, one more quick announcement, and then we'll close it out. Thank you guys so much for being our live audience. If you're watching recorded, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell so that you get notified, whenever we post again. And if you are interested in getting Lead Champ for yourself or getting our dialer or getting on our leads, okay, go to leadchamppro.com, click book a demo. You can get right on my calendar. I'll be happy to show you everything we have and help you get started. In particular, if you were on this call today and you're like, hey, I want to be on leads like Dylan was, still go on, book a demo, and we can help you get leads. Do know you have to have Lead Champ. You have to have our CRM to get the dialer or leads as of right now. Okay, soon we'll have the dialer standalone, but right now, if you want to have the dialer, you also have to have the CRM. And guys, if you already are a user, but you're not getting great value out of this, or you need help getting stuff set up still, please, please, please reach out. Hit the support button. Go and book on my calendar as well. Send us a text. Get on my calendar so we can help you get your account set up and help get you results like Sheila and Dylan. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back next Wednesday at 12 o'clock Eastern, leadchampliveDials.com if you want to watch it live, or you can see back here on YouTube. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Now let's go sell some insurance.